That's good. That's real good. Oh, got some on my lip. Wow. I love Cliff Bars. What's up guys, Elijah here with Fitness Domain, and today we're going to be going over some sitting stretches. So for our first stretch, we have our seated leg tucked hamstring stretch. So you actually could start in this position right here, kind of like you're a frog. Put your hands down, both your elbows will go inside between your knees, and you just extend one leg out. And you're usually on our toes like this, on the balls of our feet like this. I like to keep my elbow on the inside and my other hand just here just to keep me stable. And as you progress and you keep doing these stretches, you actually could start taking your elbow and moving it further out, pushing your knee out as well. And you could actually start, instead of going here, you could drop down to a flat foot. And then once you're in that flat foot, you could keep pushing your knee out to however good you feel the stretch. Our next stretch, we have our V stretch. So the goal of this one is to stretch your inner thighs as well as your hips and even your hamstrings too. So we want to lean to one side and we want to hold it here. I usually hold this here for about 30 seconds. So what I like to do is while I'm leaning on the one side, I bring my elbow down and I come over top with my other hand. So what this does is it helps stretch your hips as well as your obliques. And as you continue to breathe and progress, you can go further and further down until you're eventually, your goal is almost like you're forming an arch to touch your toes. And you're coming over top, almost coming over top of your head. But so when you sort of get to the point where this V stretch becomes a little too easy, instead of just dropping down straight into a split or not exactly sure where you go, you could drop down to where you normally drop to and then just start scooting yourself forward like a dog, just with your hands, pull forward. And if you feel it right here, just stop right here. So when you do get to the point of doing a split, when we come over top, we actually tuck our elbow. Instead of keeping it right here and going over, I actually like to tuck it in further and then come over top. And this time, I like to keep my hand directly over my head. So I'm forming an arch over my head. And I'm aiming for touching my toes. If you guys feel like you found this video useful, or if you feel like you've learned something new, smash that red button, like the video, comment down below what's your favorite stretch. Now, back to the video. Afterwards, I like to go into our butterfly stretch. Now, you could go against any sort of couch or just wall, anything with a surface really to put your back on. I know a lot of people like to just sometimes push their knees down or they grab their ankles and push their legs down. Either one could really work. I like to start off pushing with, I like to grab onto my ankles and then push my knees down with my elbows. And I actually feel this is better to start off with because you have more control on how far you want to push it. But once you do get to the point where it gets a little tough and it becomes like a little more of a workout to push it down, you could just sit back against the wall and then just take your hands, put them on your knees, lean back, and then push down. So for our next one, we actually push out our butterfly, and I call this our diamond stretch. You really just want to be able to have fit your whole forearm and fist in there. And instead of pushing down on our knees or grabbing our ankles and pushing down on our knees, we are going to take our hands and we're going to actually grab our toes this time. And once again, just go to where you feel this. You're going to feel this mostly in your low back. And our goal here again is our chin to toes. We want to almost hook our chin to our toes. That is our goal. We don't want to put our head down. We want to get our chin out there. Our final set of seated stretches are our seated toe touches. So we actually start off with tucking one of our legs so that the sole of our foot is touching our opposite inner thigh. And most people, when I started, I literally could only start to right here, just past my knee, touching my shin, and that's where I felt it. And if you feel it right there, just keep it right there and hold it. You just want to have your leg tucked in, go to where you barely feel it, keep breathing. Once again, you want to have the chin to toes goal. You don't want to do the head to knee. You want to do the chin to your toes. So keep breathing, push forward. As you do the stretch, even in these 30-second increments, as you're breathing, you are going to be able to move forward a little bit. When you do get to the point where you could touch your toes, it's okay to keep it up here at first, but once you get a little bit past your toes, you could actually start hooking on to the sides of your sole of the foot that's pointed out. So as we grab the sides of our sole, you could actually start to overlap on them, and this will help you. So you can start pulling, almost as if you're pulling the top of your foot towards you. And you actually start to feel this a little bit in your low back. And you keep doing your chin to toes. And when it starts to get to the point where you don't feel this, you don't feel touching your toes, even just holding onto the side, you don't feel it as much anymore, start to lean forward with it. Grab on, and then eventually start pulling yourself towards your toes. This one will be just like our one leg tuck toe touch, except this time you have both of your legs forward. Keep your toes upright. Just start to where you feel it and progress forward. Once you get to that point where touching your toes becomes easy, come around to the side of them. Once you get to the point where coming around to the side becomes easy, try to lock your fingers in and try to hold your toes together, your feet together, and you actually start to feel it a little bit in the lateral part of your calf. And once again, chin to toes.